Hi, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. I'm kind of laughing here because my director of media has got me all set up here doing. Oh, do we need to move this? he just looked at me like, "You're an idiot. You don't have to move that. I have everything set up the way that I want it." So, man, I'm looking at screens now that are telling me action and stuff, and it's far better than I am. So I mean, he's got equipment set up that I really don't deserve. Anyway, it's a rainy day here, so instead of going out and building some more terraced gardens and working on a new waterfall that my son and I were going to do today, we're in the house, and which doesn't bother me a bit because the rain is great for my peach and apple trees, and I get to wear a flannel shirt, and that makes my day complete. Some guys like red Corvettes, I like flannel shirts, and it's getting to be the time of year to where I'm not going to be able to wear them much anymore, so I'm happy. I'm going to talk today a little bit about preparing for other people who don't prepare themselves. Something happened last night that, and I kind of thought about doing this video before, but something happened last night that kind of brought this back to the forefront for me, and reminded me of what I feel to be the importance of this. The kids asked me, "Daddy, what are we doing tonight?" And I said, "Well, we're just going to be around here. We've got work to do and stuff like that." And well, I'm getting cues. I'm seeing how many minutes I've got, so I don't talk too long. That's very nice, man. That's very nice. So anyway, they said, "Well, we're going to have it's going to be an integrative preparedness night." And I thought, well, what in the world? I wonder what they got going on here, because they do this a lot. They surprise me a lot. I have to admit that I have a blessed life, a family that I don't deserve, but God decided to bless me with them anyway. And so I wondered, well, what's this going to be? Sometimes we have nights without electricity, and so maybe it's going to be that, or maybe we're going to cook dinner out over the fire pit, or something like that. I didn't know, but I have a very, very creative bunch of folks here. So I just kind of wait. Well, pretty soon after we got done with some things, they called me, my wife and kids, asked me to come into the dining room. So I went in there, and they had a whole bunch. They had the dining room. It looked like it was going to be Christmas dinner. And in the middle of the table, they had a cookie cake that they had made for me, or had made for me, and it said on there, "Congratulations, 100 plus," and it's for me getting over 100 subscribers, which thank you all who have subscribed. That it's very gratifying. It's very nice that I think that anybody would want to hear what I say, but which I thought was very nice on their part, that they were that interested, since all the channels that they watch, of kittens and people eating weird stuff, have 3 million subscribers and things like that. So I thought it was pretty nice that they got a kick out of the fact that Daddy had 100 subscribers. And so we had a nice time. We sat down and we had that cookie cake for dinner, I think, until it got much later at night, and we had to break down and get a pizza. But anyway, that reminded me of what I had meant to do a video on before, and that is what I feel is important, and that is preparing for people that you want to be with you after a major calamity, who may not prepare for themselves. I've been watching YouTubes for a couple of years. I watched some before that, but I just didn't have a life that lent itself to that, and it was only after I wrote the books that I started kind of keeping track of what people were thinking about in the preparedness circles online, what they were talking about and what their ideas were and things like that. And a lot of it is very interesting. Some of it's not my cup of tea, but then I'm not some people's cup of tea, and that's fine. But one of the and a lot of it, great information, and I applaud anybody who has a channel. I mean, they take their time and their trouble, and they put information out there that they feel is important and they want to help people, and I think that anybody who has these channels should be complimented for it and supported, and I'll make another video about that another time. But one of the things that I heard quite a bit, and I think I heard it more or read it more in the comments than I did hear it from the video creators themselves, was something along the lines of, well, if they show up at my place and they haven't prepared themselves, they're just out of luck. They're not getting in. And or if they show up, they had better have something to bring to the table. And I understand that a little bit, but people have a lot of different things they can bring to the table, as it were. And so I thought, well, and I don't really feel that way. I disagree with it. And I've touched on this before when I talked about groups and mags and things like that, and how I feel differently than a lot of people do. And to be real honest, the people that I want around, if everything went to pieces, a lot of them are not preppers. They have other interests, and they see the world differently than I have seen it. And of course, we are all products of our experiences and our training and our education. Most of all, our experiences. And so people are going to see things differently, and some people just aren't going to see things the way that I do. And that doesn't mean that they are stupid or naive or anything. It simply means they've had a different background. And so as I thought about these people that say, well, if they don't bring it, if they show up, I've tried to get them to prepare, and if they show up empty-handed, they're not getting in. The people that you know in your life right now, that you've known for a long time, you have seen them in real situations. Now, they may not be the real SHTF situations, but you've seen them in real situations. The people that are in your life, the people that you trust, the people that you love, the people that you know that you can depend on, you have those feelings because of the experiences and the relationships you've had with them over time. Okay, and these are the people that I want with me if everything went to pot. And I've known some guys that were excellent operationally, extremely competent, who I would not want around me in that situation. I know a number like that, and I know a number of people who haven't shot a gun more than a handful of times, that I know that if needed, they'd step right up. But they'd have more than just operational ability, as a lot of people like to think of that. They have depth of character. They have shown me over years and years what they're made of, and they can be depended on, and they will be there as a part of a group coming together. And I'm sure that everybody knows people. Hopefully, you know people like that. So just because they haven't prepared themselves, what am I going to declare a death sentence on them because they disagreed with me and didn't prepare because I told them that they should? No, of course not. Those are the people that I prepare for. Now I have a circle of friends, as I've mentioned before, who are extremely prepared and experienced and capable. in the more exciting aspects of, what many people would think are the more exciting, exotic parts of survival. But when you're building a community, it's not all warriors. It's support people, and it's people who are there taking care of the daily part of life. And so I prepare for those people, and I would suggest that you do as well. How I prepare for those people is that when I bring in my food, when I stock food, I realize that I'm stocking for other people too. When I look at equipment, I realize that I want to bring in equipment for those people to have as well. Now I might, have certain weapons for myself, and this is just an example. When I see firearms, pistols, rifles, shotguns, doesn't matter. When I see them on sale, and like there's a couple of places around the country that have unbelievable sales a couple times a year, I buy them. I buy extras. And I don't buy top of the line stuff. I don't buy, and I've said this before, I don't buy Glocks. I think they're overpriced. I'm sure they're good guns. I'm not knocking them, and I'm not knocking anybody who has one. But I can buy a Smith & Wesson SD VE for $279. It's just as good as a Glock. And so why shouldn't I buy two of those instead of one Glock? Because I know that what I'm doing is buying to arm other people if they show up and I need them to be armed. It's a lot better for me to be able to give them a pistol than for me to yell at them like, why didn't you get a gun? And if I can pick up, there's a couple of brands of ARs that a couple times a year you can get for under $500. I'll pick up a couple of those, and when I can pick up a Mossberg shotgun for under $200, I'll pick up some of those. Not only are these preparing for this is one of those dual use things that you can prepare for people if needed, but they're also great investments. Depending upon the political climate, nothing increase. I mean, my guns are doing better than my 401k, right? In many cases. Other things, when I see them on sale, I just pulled something. I saw something in a bag the other day that gave me also the idea for this. When I see flashlights on sale, just another example. This isn't a flashlight commercial, but every year one of the big box hardware stores has all these unbelievable sales right before Christmas, right? Stocking stuffers and things, and I buy a whole lot of stuff at that time. These little flashlights, I got these for, I think, $5.99. I just got a cue. I was holding it too low. These little flashlights I got for $5.99 for two of them. Okay, now they're not Surefires, and they're not stream lights. But let me pull the one out of my pocket that I've carried for 3 years. Okay, and this thing still works. And I was checking out an elevator shaft with a guy one time, and he dropped his Surefire down the elevator shaft. And when we got down there and got it back, it wasn't working anymore. And he was really unhappy because how much he had paid for that thing. Now I'm not knocking. I am not knocking any brand of flashlight. What I'm saying is, when you're preparing for other people, it's not as hard as you think. When you see things like this, pick them up. Pick up 10 of these things, and get $5.99. Well, and if you can't afford that, I understand. But pick up a couple. Because when people show up, if you're in an emergency and they don't have a flashlight, guess what? Here's a flashlight. It cost me $2.50, and it came with the batteries included. How much better deal can you get than that, right? So the whole purpose of this is simply think about the people that you want to be with you after a real bad situation comes down, and realize that a lot of them aren't tuned in like you are, and just because they're not Doesn't mean they're bad folks. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It doesn't mean that they're naive. They're probably very, very intelligent and very up to speed on other areas that you might not be. And so I think that's part of the responsibility of preparing, is preparing to equip those that we want around us when everything goes south. So anyway, you all have a good day today. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this rainy day out there. It gives me a chance to stay inside and write some more. And wherever you are, have a good one. And remember that we prepare well today so that we can live well tomorrow. Thanks a lot. See you later.